So in my keynote yesterday, I presented the thesis that there's three kinds of businesses in the future: AI native, built from the ground up to be smarter; AI infused into everything they do; AI emergent, traditional organization, visionary leader, build a smarter version of the company; and obsolete, like you become irrelevant. So a lot of the people here work for companies that could be the AI emergent companies. So if you were running one of those organizations or advising one of those organizations, how do I become AI emergent? Where do I start? What would you tell them to think about first? Like how do you start to change that mindset to become a next gen type of organization that can thrive with uncertainty in essence?
Well, I think you talk about a lot of the right ideas in your book, in that in order to thrive in this kind of a world, it's important to of course, one, remain aware of the kinds of advances that are happening and how they could affect your business. Two, to think about the raw materials of all of these systems, which are, of course, data and feedback from humans, and then to think about how to demonstrate the utility in specific pilot applications, what things to measure, what things you want to see improvements in through the use of an AI system. I think these are all exactly the right ideas for a leader who wants to remain on sort of at the frontier.
What do you find most exciting about the potential of AI in business and in marketing, and I mean maybe society, but just like when you think about AI, again, you could be working on anything, you could be solving any problem. When you think about the work you're doing, what is it that excites you? What is like that North Star for you that you think it's going to have a positive effect that's driving you forward right now?
So, I mean, I think it would be nice. So, I mean, broadly speaking, trying to solve intelligence and bring about this sort of sci-fi utopia of the future would be the long-term goal. But in the medium term, in terms of its effect on businesses, I think there's a lot of cognitive burden that could be lifted off of people and moved to computers, which would then free us up to be creative and to work on other problems that we care more about. And I think the net effect of this should be, if we navigate the transition correctly, should be a dramatic increase in productivity, and hopefully, sort of universally drops in prices and just generally much more abundance for people.
That's Peter Diamandis, is that the Abundance book, I think?
He did write the book Abundance.
Yeah. So what is, we'll kind of maybe wrap here, but what do you think is the most likely scenario of the impact of AI? Because when I started looking at it in 2011, I was like, oh, this game over by like 2017. Like I read Algorithmic Leader, and you think like, oh, AI is just going to like transform every industry. 2017 hits us like, where's all the AI? 2019, we run the first conference, you can't find brands doing it. Like, I keep looking around waiting for that tipping point where everybody's doing it. And it just seems like it's always a few years out. When you look out 3 to 5 years, like what is the most likely scenario for the average business about the impact AI is going to have on us?
There's this Robert Heinlein quote about how the future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed. And we certainly see this with machine learning, in that at the same time there exist labs that are building machine systems that can reason as well as humans, but then the most widely deployed data processing technology in the world is probably still Excel, which I think someone mentioned yesterday. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, there's this technology lifecycle adoption curve that I don't think is going to go away. I think it's going to take a lot of time and gradual productization and cultural change for things that are currently at the state of the art in machine learning to propagate through society and into people's lives on a day-to-day basis. Now, I think 5 years is long enough that we can expect language models to be fairly pervasive in businesses. Like
you're not writing content in marketing or sales or business without the assistance of language generation tech.
That's right, and that's already starting to happen. Yeah. And one direction which this could go, which would be quite exciting, is language models that can use tools, language models that can interact with a computer, for example, that can learn what to click on and what to type and can actually use a browser, which in principle encompasses a lot of the kind of work that we do. So envision a world where you could ask a model to, go through your email and draft up responses, or look up a set of companies and tell you which ones to target, or something like
Take
this.
my 10 last blog posts and create 25 tweets for me to distribute over the next 15 days at different times.
Yeah,
it just
exactly.
does it.
And it would just sort of queue up a set of actions and run them for you, and then you could just hit go to execute.
You think that's likely in 5 years, that we might get there?
That feels like the kind of thing that would be, cutting edge, kind of new, not widely distributed. But language models, I think, would be by that point quite widely distributed.